guys with today to talk about is how do you work a deal? You know, we work a car deal, and most of you aren't making any gross. You've got vendors and manufacturers that have conditioned you that we can't make a profit in today's world. You've got vendors and manufacturers that are telling you that the transaction price is this in the marketplace, and you can't beat that. I'm going to tell you what, I got dealers averaging 26, 27, even 3,000 a car all across the country. You don't need to lie, cheat, sneak, deceive, or misrepresent to make a profit. You got to have concrete processes. What's the number one reason we don't make the kind of profitability we're supposed to make on a car deal? The number one reason is inappropriate behavior of a salesperson. Your salespeople did or said something inappropriate. I didn't say they're bad. I didn't say they're evil. I just said the inappropriate behavior of a salesperson is the number one reason deals are blown. And I have managers in my classes all the time. Well, Mr. Ziegler, our people won't do this and won't do that. And what is your job description? Aren't you supposed to be their supervisor? Aren't you supposed to be the one that makes it happen? The number one inappropriate thing we do is we get too involved in qualifying the consumers. We get so involved in qualifying the people that we're not qualifying them anymore, we're disqualifying them. We're trying to find out why they can't buy, why they won't pay this, why they won't. I'll be in a dealership and I'll be working a sales desk, and I still work sales desk, I still do F&I still work in BDCs, I still work in dealerships. I will get on your desk, and if you tell me it can't be done, I'll show you it can be done. Don't tell me it can't be done. I have people, well, Mr. Ziegler, that shit might work in Atlanta, but you can't do that here. This is Ohio, people are aliens. You know, can't do that here. So your salesman comes up to your sales desk. Hey, listen, let me tell you, Pat, all the reasons why we can't make any money on this deal. Let me tell you where they've been, what they know. They puke all over your desk. And somebody will tell you all the reasons why you can't do it. The stupidest question we ever train a salesperson to ask, and I want you to think about this. What's your budget? What's your budget? Why do I want to know that? I've been selling cars 38 years, set some records. I have never asked a consumer what their budget was if they told me a number that would actually buy the car. Mr. Customer, what's your budget? Tell me a stupid-ass number that won't work. Tell me a number we can fight about. Tell me a number that's unrealistic. Lowball me. You've got full price, and you've got cost. If it's a new car, you've got 3%, maybe 5% markup. One of the biggest problems we have in the car business today, when I got in the car business in the 70s, we had 35% markup in an automobile. Cadillac Eldorado Brougham, 1976 model, was a $12,000 car with $9,000 sticker, $9,000 invoice. That car was marked up $3,000 or more. A 1996 Eldorado Baritz, last year they built them, was a $30,000 car with $2,000 marked up. The consumers didn't understand why the car had increased so much in price, and we had less money to work with. And they held it against the dealers if we're doing something wrong. We got 3% to 5% markup in our cars. Full price is a fair price. We're not cheating anybody. That's one of the philosophies we have to get out of our dealerships. That furniture and jewelry are marked up 600%, 300%, but Dan Rather has never ever taken 60 Minutes crew and exposed a jewelry store real estate agent. It's us trying to defend our 3 to 5% markup that we never get. So your salesman says, sir, this is a $30,000 MSRP automobile. What's your budget? What do you want to pay? And that consumer says $300 a month. Now remember, the overwhelming majority of consumers, 87% of consumers, are buying a payment. They're not buying a price. All this price point advertising you're doing is absolutely meaningless. 87% of consumers are buying a payment. I wrote my latest article, if you read it in ADM Magazine, I'm talking about some of our lenders right now are offering 97-month financing. So it's crazy. So anyway, $300 a month says the consumer. This $30,000 car, the consumer says $30,000 a month. And our sales are $300 a month, and our salesman says, sir, that's not going to work on this car. Let's switch to a cheaper car. Well, excuse me, a consumer is more likely to pay more for the car they want quicker than to pay less for the one they don't want. A consumer is more likely to pay more for the car they want quicker than they will pay less for the car they don't want. And the figure they just told you was a lie. They knew it was a lie when they said it. Nobody's going to tell you the highest amount they've discussed with each other, husband and wife. If my wife and I have discussed $500 a month, I'm going to tell the salesman $300. And then we try to get to that stupid-ass figure that won't work, the one they made up on the exit ramp. And we try to bump them. Most of you are spending your time bumping people up. I mean, every dealership in this room, you're bumping people. I want the salesman to say, sir, my manager's going to make a proposal to you in a minute. Let's see what my manager proposes to you before you get into all that. We have Mr. James Ziegler on the desk today, a guest manager from Atlanta, Georgia. And sir, when you see Mr. Ziegler's numbers, you're going to get excited. You'll be jumping up and down. Usually I get the whistling goddams. I just look at my numbers and go, yeah, damn. You got to be like little Beaver Cleaver. Gosh, what seems to be the problem? My trailer don't cost that much. You know, all humor aside, I want to start that deal here, and if the consumer work me down, they feel better about it. I go in so many of your dealerships, and all your deals started low and worked down. I see very few deals that ever attempted to even sell the car for its full value. I'll pull 100 random worksheets in the dealership in the previous month. We didn't even go for it. We're apologizing for trying to make a profit, like we're doing something wrong. I've had customers look at my numbers and they think I am an idiot. I said, well, sir, if you were, I did not want to miss an opportunity. You know, full price is fair. Don't lose sight of that. We have been conditioned to believe it's not. And the number one thing that we're doing that's making the higher grosses happen in car dealerships that you are not doing is down payment. We have lost. When I say I've got all these dealerships doing $26,000, $27,000, $3,000 a car, we're getting cash down payment from the consumers in every one of these cases. And the reason you are not getting cash down payment from the consumers is because you're asking them how much they have. Never ask a consumer, how much money do you think about putting down? What do they say? Nothing. And we've conditioned them for no money down. Why are so many people upside down? Because we didn't get an investment in the car when they bought it. I mean, we're not doing a disservice getting customers to give us a down payment. But the way that you do that is you never ask them how much they have, when you make the offer to the customer, you automatically pencil the down payment on the worksheet out of the CRM. So most banks would like to see 20% cash down for the best preferred financial programs. In your case, we'd like to get a check from you today for $5,083. I may not get $5,083, but I've got them thinking about it. Sir, the banks don't require 20%. I can certainly get you financed with less money down. Less money down, not ever no money down. If you go to your dealership and you audit cash and deal for the last 90 days, how much real cash did you get on your finance deal? Just audit your own books. How much real cash, not rebate, not dealer money, how much real cash did your consumers give you per finance deal? How weak or how strong was your sales department? When you can get real cash out of the consumers, and we do it all the time, they've got the money. I was in a dealership not long ago, and the management said, "This is a poor community, sir. We're in Mississippi. We don't have a lot of money in Mississippi." I went over to the casino. I saw these poor people pulling $25 chips out of the block. Excuse me. Consumers have the money. We do a very poor job of giving. The down payment is the key to profitability. I want management to control the figures. We own the numbers. Salespeople are emotionally involved in the deal, and they would take the least stressful way to get a car delivered for them. It's up to management. I'm a coach. I send in the play. You run the play. A couple of years back, Mike Ditka had two quarterbacks, Jim Harbaugh and Jim McMahon, the Bears. And these were both prima donna, spoiled brats. I mean, one of them a coach now, I know, but Harbaugh and McMahon. And nobody knew who was going to be the starting quarterback that week. That's how Ditka made the Bears have such a winning season. But you couldn't strategize who was going to be your quarterback until the last minute. And both of them would go in the huddle and change the call. Ditka would send in a play, and McMahon would change it. You could see Ditka throw his stuff down. He was pissed off. He was throwing tantrums on the sidelines. McMahon, Harbaugh kept changing his plays. Your salesmen change your plays, and you let them do that. I send in a set of instructions how I want them to just talk to the customer, what I want them to do, what I want them to say. That's not optional. You have salespeople. Look, I want you to say this. Now, if the customer says this, you say that. But if they say this, you say that. If they do this, you do that. If they do this, you do that. Got it? Or say, got it. Manager thinks we need a cheaper car. That's their whole interpretation of all that brilliant shit he told them to say. They're not saying what you told them to say. They're not doing, and you're allowing that to happen. Manage your people. Salespeople aren't bad or evil, but they're going to take the shortest route to get the car delivered. We're the managers, and we're the supervisors of the selling effort. And you don't have to, it's all about persuasion and finesse. You don't need to beat the customer to death or trick them or deceive them. Advertising, traditional media is still good. Don't let anybody dissuade you that traditional media has stopped working. It's not as effective as it once was, but traditional media still works. Don't totally abandon traditional media for a total digital budget. But if you buy a day, own the day. Don't buy a spot in the 6 o'clock news that reaches 1 million people once. Buy 10 spots that reach 100,000 people, same people preferably. And then the internet, that's where I'm heading right now.